But anyway, Coach Hutchinson, thank you for joining me to do this. How's your week been going so far? It's crazy that the tournament's finally starting.
It's good week. Good to be in the Patriot League tournament. It comes so quickly, the Patriot League tournament. It just feels like yesterday that we started our season, and just a few minutes ago that we started our conference season. So it's great to be in our third season in our tournament season. And, this is where it really matters. Teams are remembered for what or how they end their season, not necessarily how they begin it or what they do in the middle, but how they end. So we're excited for the opportunity.
So how surprised are you guys as a coaching staff that you went undefeated in conference play?
We really didn't talk about that too much as a staff. We really talked about the next game. We talked about what we needed to do to improve from the previous game. I hate to use the coach speak, but we really took it one game at a time. The teams in our conference provide unique challenges in their makeups. So on many occasions, our preparation was very different. And in some ways it was similar, but with each team, it was really a singular focus on what do we need to do to prepare for that team. And at the end, Howard, with his wonderful write-up, started to talk about all this history stuff, but we did a good job of kind of keeping it on the back burner, not really focusing on that, but rather focusing on that one game. What do we need to do to get better? How do we need to play to be successful?
Right. Well, so winning records aside, how good does it feel, especially for you as a coaching staff, and I guess you can speak for the rest of the players, to have the tournament at home? Essentially, you guys could play every single game at Bender Arena.
Oh, it's great. It's great to be able to play in front of our crowd, get the Blue Crew guys and girls out here to see them. Yesterday had a couple with their chest painted. That was pretty cool. The big Matt Corkery head, good-looking head coach. It's a great prop. That's awesome. I know on a personal note, my wife is pregnant. Due date was February 29th. So to be home for the tournament, personally, is really, really awesome. Following our victory at Navy, that secured the 1 seed, in the post game, one of the players was like, got it for baby Nico. So that's really, really cool. And just kind of takes a potential distraction, having to be on the road and worrying about that, and really it's not even an issue now. So personally, it's neat. But, our girls really enjoy playing in front of their crowd. They enjoy having this atmosphere. Family, friends, students, all of that coming out to the games is really, really cool. And to win it, continue to do what we need to do, and to win it here would be a really cool thing to do. So we'll see. One game at a time, right?
Of course. But how does it feel to know that you're going to be a dad in a few days?
Oh, it's awesome. It's so cool. I'm looking forward to it. I say stupid things already about it, so we won't get into that. But, it's neat. And, as a father, I think probably one of the things that I'm most excited about is the chance for my son to grow up around the people here at American. The team, the other coaches, the people around this athletic department, just a lot of quality people. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's probably the thing that I'm most excited about, is the people that my son is going to get a chance to interact with from, really birth through, however long that I get the opportunity to be here at American, which hopefully is a really long time.
It seems like a common theme with you guys is first you have your son, and then you have the whole, you're adopting through the foundation work that you guys have done, and your team in general is just sort of a core collect group. How does it differ from the previous teams here at American?
That's a good question. Unfortunately, I don't have a really long history here. This being my second year, but I do think that the other teams in the past have laid a foundation for the success that this team has. The teams in the past, as Coach Corkery was an assistant when Coach McFerrin was here as a head coach, and then when he made that transition to the head coaching position, there have been continuing characteristics and qualities that those coaches have stressed. And I think with each passing year, those qualities, those things, those behaviors, attitudes that as coaches we want our teams to strive for and demonstrate, they become more ingrained in the culture of the program and in the culture of the teams. So I don't know if there's necessarily a big difference between other teams. I think this is just like the better version of some older teams because of their work, because of what they did, and the foundation that was set. And we have great senior leaders. Liz Lear being a player last year on staff, I think that's a great bridge, great connection to previous teams. So I think that if anything, this team just reflects the hard work that previous teams have done, the tradition of this program, and really want to be great. So I don't know how they would necessarily differ. I just think it's maybe it's a more concentrated team, as this team kind of reflects a lot of past teams.
But needless to say, winning's still the ultimate goal.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt
so
about it.
You definitely come from a winning background. You actually coached you're at Montrose Christian. What was it like to be part of almost like the Duke and North Carolinas of high school basketball?
Oh, it was such a great blessing to get that opportunity to be at Montrose. I played at Montrose. I was very fortunate and blessed to have the opportunity to be a player when Kevin Sutton, who's now an assistant at George Washington for the men, he was a head coach my junior year, and then Coach Vetter came in my senior year. So getting the chance to play for those coaches, then having my own college career, and then coming back after finishing my college career and getting a chance to coach at Montrose was invaluable. I walked behind David Atkins. He's now an assistant at University of Maryland for the women, in mopping the floor every day, dry mopping the floor every day, washing uniforms, talking X's and O's, seeing how Coach Atkins did individual improvement and development stuff with players, watching some of the other assistants coach, seeing how Coach Vetter really crafted and developed and built practices from number 1 through number 75 or whatever it was over the course of the season, and how he dealt with the team concept. I think that's something that Coach Vetter is so great at, teaching the game from a team perspective, from that team dynamic. What do 5 players need to do offensively and defensively to be successful? And then he put coaches around him who had strengths. Dan Preet, who's still with Coach Vetter as an assistant, just had a great knowledge of X's and O's and actions. And Coach Atkins was a great development guy. Also a good knowledge of X's and O's. And, I got the chance to really learn from guys who are true basketball junkies. So it was invaluable, without a doubt invaluable. And just the level of talent that Montrose had to be able to work with those kids on a regular basis in the mornings and the afternoons, getting extra shots, doing extra work, seeing them in practice, watching how they interacted. It can't be measured, the experience that I had there.
I was going to say, who has a more burning desire to win, Stu Vetter or Matt Corkery?
Great question. I don't know if I can differentiate their desires to win, but I think there is one difference between the two. Both of them hate to lose, okay? Coach Vetter, I don't know if he really loved to win, but he certainly hated to lose. There were some games that we won, and you would have never known that we had won. I think Coach Corkery provides a much better balance, where he definitely hates losing, no doubt about it, but he enjoys winning, I think, a little bit more than Coach Vetter. But I do think the thing that is consistent with great coaches, and I've seen this with Coach Vetter, I've seen this with Coach Corkery, following each game, whether it's a win or a loss, they're focused in on the areas of the game that the team can improve upon. In the same manner, I think they are also very cognizant of the fact that our team is of greatest importance. What we did, how we played as a team, did we reflect our priorities in terms of effort, in terms of defensive intensity, in terms of focus, in terms of offensive effectiveness, and doing things the right way? That's what their focus is always on. How do we get better as a team? How do we improve and achieve winning? Or in the case of Coach Vetter, not losing. So that would be the difference between the two.
I guess also sticking to the whole theme of family in a way, you had a very unique experience at Montrose that you got to see the development of American's own Troy Brewer.
Yep.
Is there anything you talk about just not having such a rare opportunity to see someone almost like the entire development of a player and watching him now, ironically, at the same school you were coaching at? Yeah,
it's really, really neat. I think one thing that it definitely shows is just how small the basketball community is. But, to watch Troy as, skinny 10th grader, probably still kind of skinny, but great player, strong, even though he's a little bit skinny. But to watch him go from JV to a varsity reserve to a varsity starter, then seeing him get the chance to go play at Georgia for a couple years, and then didn't work out, and have him come back to American and watch him mature not only as a player but as a young man is really, really cool. To see those things and then have the chance to come full circle and be back at the institution where he's at, shows that all the hard work that you do as a coach definitely is worth it. And to be in such close proximity to one of those kids you had a chance to coach, I guess makes it more real. I had a chance to coach him, and now look at what he's doing on the floor. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, it is neat to see that full circle development and see that he's doing really good things here.
I don't know, they got by their first round game, and so did you last night. It was closer than you guys probably would have expected, but is it good that your team is, especially those last two games of the regular season, is it good that they sort of played in tournament-like atmosphere to prepare them for last night and going forward? Yeah,
without a doubt. I've said it before, and I continue to harp on it. Each game presents opportunities to get better. And I think that a mature team takes those lessons, applies them, and through action the next time they hit the floor. And I think that's the thing that really separates the good teams from the average teams, the great teams from the good teams, is taking what you learned, applying it. And, in looking back at our season, playing on the road, playing against good teams, I think the biggest lesson that we learned, and it showed itself when we played at Lafayette to end our season, and then last night, great teams have players that will step up and make plays. I think it was most evident when we played George Washington at their place. Following that game, George Washington they had players who made plays. And we clipped up key possessions, about 10 possessions, where George Washington players made plays and we didn't. And that was a difference in that game. And I think that was something that really hit our kids, not only the kids who take the most shots or have the ball in their hands the most, but I think it trickled down to every single one of our kids where they're going to have opportunities to step up and make plays. Aaron Zimmerman got in last night into the first half, knocked down 2 open shots, hit the shot at the buzzer to go in with a little momentum. She stepped up and made plays, which was really cool to see. And what was even more ironic is that afternoon before our shoot-around, Aaron Zimmerman got in with me in the gym, and we got extra shots up. So those 2 shots that she made in the game, we probably got about 200 of those in that afternoon, and she made 75%, 80% of her shots. So she did the work early, before the game started. And then when the opportunity presented itself to make shots and make plays, she did that. So I think that's the coolest thing, and that's the thing that you really take is, regardless as to what happens, if you make plays and you're consistent in effort, consistent in focus, then you're going to have chances to do what you need to do to get W's.
So that GW game, is that sort of the turning point for you guys in your season?
You know, I don't know if it was a turning point. I do think we learned a valuable lesson in that game, and I think, you know, we learned other lessons in other games through our non-conference season. You know, playing out in California, I think we learned that if you're not ready to play, then that's not a good thing, because we just kind of played flat out there. You know, against a team like Quinnipiac. I think Quinnipiac came in and they were playing good basketball, and they had a team dynamic that was really, really good. And we as coaches noticed that. And that was something that, you know, our team was still growing into and feeling out what does our team really look like. And I think that was a lesson that we took from that game. So again, with each game, I think we took different lessons. But, you know, GW being the last non-conference game leading into our conference, I do think that lesson of making plays was very important as we moved into our conference season, our second season.
All right, now I'll end it up on this sort of a light-noted thing. The senior day against Army, a couple of fans were wearing bow ties in honor of you.
Yeah.
Is there an origin of where your bow tie came from, or is it just a style thing?
The origin of the bow tie, you know, I think it's probably just more of a style thing. When I started at Montrose, when I first graduated from Messiah, I didn't teach. I did some personal training and some other things and assisted at Montrose as a coach, and I got the opportunity to teach at Montrose. And when I became a teacher, I think my attitude in the classroom was that of, you got to look the part, you know, you got to look intelligent. If you're going to stand before a bunch of kids and teach them, then dadgummit, you better look intelligent. So, you know, I thought the bow tie, the astute, just speaks of, you know, intelligence, you know, like dark mahogany wood and the leather couches and just all that. So I think that's kind of where it came from. And, you know, then it kind of stuck. It stuck with me, and I pulled it out every once in a while. And now, you know, obviously some of our Blue Crew guys saw it and they enjoyed it. So it was neat. You know, they got bow ties, sign, and all that. But yeah, I think it shakes things up. It hopefully keeps me on the edge of style here. You know, got to look good on the sideline. Yeah, so it's just a fun thing to do, a fun thing to wear. So, yeah, I enjoy it.